So harpists usually tend to tell composers, oh, go study harp repertoire to learn how to write for the harp. Problem is there's so much harp repertoire out there, and a lot of it is by harpist composers that more mainstream composers may not be familiar with. So since I finally got around to learning Renié's Contemplation, I decided to record it for you and offer a little insight into how to study it as a composer. Hi, I'm Danielle from Compose Harp, and I want to share with you the resources you need so you can write for the harp with confidence. Now, Henriette Renié is regarded as one of the most influential harp pedagogues and composers in recent history. Her contributions have really revolutionized both our repertoire and our technique. Her harp manual, Method for the Harp, is a really thorough treatise on how to play the harp well with relaxed, supple technique to be able to avoid injury, but also to really produce a beautiful and gorgeous sound. Her harp compositions are beautiful, use rich harmonies, and really reflect the sort of religiosity that was a big part of her personal life. Contemplation really emulates that, with the really rich, lush harmonies throughout, sort of a very somber feeling, and yet not sad. It's serious and yet lighthearted. And the way it uses different figurations and techniques make it possible for the harpist to really dig in and focus on the expression rather than all the little intricate melodies and voicings. So there's a few little things I will discuss before I share my performance at the end of this video. So the opening of this piece uses full rich chords. And the thing I want you to notice in it is she uses a very open voicing. It's not over dense, the texture is not thick, but it still sounds very rich and resonant. And the reason is because she uses large intervals lower down on the harp. There's almost nowhere in the piece where she uses a closed chord voicing above middle C. And in doing that, she's able to create this really open, sonorous, resonant sound that's created by actually using fewer notes rather than more notes. Also, the chords are very comfortable to play. Even though a harpist can usually comfortably reach a tenth on the harp, Renié writes most of the chords around an octave in range for each hand, and then a few are stretched larger. The reason for that is because an interval of a tenth, while it's possible and fairly comfortable, really does stretch the hand, and it's something that we can't do for long periods of time and still produce a really resonant, full, relaxed sound. So it is important to keep in mind the size of intervals you're using for each hand if you're trying to achieve that sort of sound. Now the second phrase in the piece uses arpeggios, ascending and descending arpeggios with the melody on top, which is played both with the alternating the second finger and the thumb in the right hand. This is a fairly common figure, and it does work particularly well on the harp. Once you get into the second page, the section's a little bit more chromatic. It uses a lot of pedal changes, including pedaling with both feet on the right side of the harp. This isn't something that we see on a regular basis, and not something that we really want to see that often. But in this case, Renié allows enough time for the left foot to move to the right side of the harp and move back. So in context, it does work quite well. Now, the section that all harpists hate in this piece is the end that uses really fast, light arpeggios in the right hand with the melody in the left hand. Now, the way we often end up playing this is that we alternate the arpeggios in the right hand, either doing them, if the melody permits, breaking it between the two hands and bringing the right hand fourth finger down to play the melody note, or when that's not possible, we take the whole arpeggio in the right hand. The reason for that is because of the way that the hand is really working against gravity. it's going to cause a lot of strain and tension if the hand were to be doing this type of motion perpetually for a long period of time. So having the opportunity to break it between the hands periodically just gives the right hand a little bit of time to relax. This also uses what Renié calls short articulation, where we're really just playing from the very tips of our fingers to be able to achieve that very light sound on the harp. Now the very end continues the arpeggios in the right hand but switches to harmonics in the left hand. We're actually playing left hand harmonics up here an octave above middle C, which we don't typically recommend and doesn't really work particularly well on the harp. And actually, in order to achieve it, we have to use a different technique. So right hand usually does harmonics like this. Now to be able to do the harmonics in the left hand, we have to do it like this rather than our usual method with the more open hand. So that's something to keep in mind. If you do write harmonics at high end, please don't. But if you do, you need to allow extra time for the harpist to switch hand positions. So I hope this was interesting, hope this was helpful. Enjoy my performance and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more videos coming for you.